how to fit back in all of your clothes in your closet without ever counting a calorie. That's what today's live is going to be all about. For those of you that don't know me, I'm Leslie Urbis. I'm a registered dietitian and a personal trainer with 12 plus years experience in mindset dieting, in which I train others to learn how to reduce disease-inducing patterns, remove emotional eating, allow themselves to freely lose weight without shame, without guilt, without restriction, eating and drinking all the yummy food and drinks that they would love to drink. Because let's face it, as you move up in status and you earn those 6 figures or 7 figures, or you reach that good hard living, you are definitely not thinking, oh, let me go back and scrape at the bottom for Chef Boyardee, or let me go grab some SpaghettiOs. Instead, you're living your life. You've decided to enjoy the things around you. You're taking the trips. You're traveling. You want to try the authentic cuisine. But the truth is, all of the diets out there are really teaching you count this, restrict that, plan this, really hone in, eat during these hours, and all of these things that are very life reducing that cause you to follow and then leave. And none of them are giving you the results you want because it's like a chronic cycle. It's like you get restrictive to feel good, take the vacation, and gain the weight back. So in today's video, what we're going to learn is the 3 reasons why your clothes aren't fitting and how to combat them. The first reason why they're not fitting is that cyclical diet that I just discussed. It's like, okay, I'm getting ready to go on a vacation in a few months, so I'm going to hone in. I'm going to cleanse. I'm going to remove. I'm going to follow intermittent fasting. I'm going to do keto. I'm going to do that macros thing that people talk about. Whatever it may be that is your like go-to. If I do this, I will see the result. That's what you do. And then immediately on the vacation, it's like, free for all. So your habit is showing you that if you do these steps, then this happens. People think habits take 21 days to fill or 28 days to happen, right? But it actually takes a lot longer, and your patterns can be 120 days. It's sort of like every summer maybe you fall off, or every winter maybe you fall off, or every Christmas maybe you fall off, because that's a pattern that you have in your brain, in your head. So and the programs that I teach and the mindset dieting that I teach, we have to eliminate those things and those patterns and reduce what's happening. We have to take out, this is my plan for this time and this is my plan for this time, and make it very linear, where it doesn't matter if you're at home ordering DoorDash a million times, because let's face it, you're making that 6 or 7 figures and that's what you want. Or if you are doing something different, such as, okay, I don't do DoorDash, I eat really well at home, but then as soon as I take that vacation, it's like mimosas at breakfast and all the fruit drinks at the beach, or any of those kinds of things that kind of come along and hit us, okay? So in order to stop that cycle is we have to go linear. So one of the top skills I teach people is look at your habits. Your habits are a great identification of what that is. And in programs that I run, we really deep dive into those habits and help you recreate new ones so you stop the cyclical pattern that you have of the up and downs. That is the key to number 1 of fitting into the clothes in your closet. So you have these clothes in your closet because at times they fit you, or at times they did fit you, and you want to get back there. So this is one of the important things that we need to do, is get ourselves off of this habitual pattern that we are following. I forgot in the beginning of this, if you're watching, hey, #live, #replay, drop me a comment below. I'd love to answer your question. I always come back through and really check on my lives and make sure that everybody's questions are answered. Because see, in the mindset dieting program that I run, we really go deep into these habits, these patterns that you're doing. So really think about what it is that you do and what it is you're following that you believe will give you results, okay? The second thing you're doing that's stopping you from fitting back into those clothes in your closets is ruining your metabolism, okay? Now, here's what I want to formulate. So I get a lot of people that come to me like, I have no problem with following a diet. I can follow the diet till the cows come home. It's just once I get off of it that it's hard for me to get back on. And that's because you never broke patterns within yourself. You never broke identities within yourself. So if you've been overweight for a majority of your life, or let's say you got overweight because you started making the 6 and 7 figures, and you started, buying DoorDash or going out more or making it to higher meetings or traveling more or going to in-person live events, whatever it may be, as you experience that and you increase, food is equated to wealth, right? So back in, a long time ago, like medieval times, right? The more food you had, the bigger you were. So it was actually a social status, right? Back when people were bigger, it was like, oh, they have money, right? They have wealth. So now that's actually a social status that we still have. I mean, you think about it, when was the last time you went to dinner and dropped $500 on steak and lobster and wine? When was the last time you did that? If that to you is like easy peasy, going to what I like to call goodwill to find your diet, to find the macros or the super restrictions or the eat within these hours kinds of things is not going to give you the result you want, because you're searching in goodwill for your high class items that you're trying to get when you go to dinner, right? It just doesn't equate. The two don't match up. Noom isn't going to give you the ability to live your life the way you want social status wise, right? So ideally, again, through mindset dieting, in the programs that I teach, what we want to try to do is we want to change some of those identities that you have, and then allow you to understand that it's not a food that is good or bad or ugly. It's not a pattern so it's not a food that's good or bad or ugly, or it's not a diet that's right for you that's giving you the results. It's actually coming from within. It's actually that you have inside of you exactly what your body needs, and I help you get that through, okay? So what I mean is that we really look at your diet history, we look at your past medical history, we look at family history, and we look at where you want to be, because where you want to be really matters with all these things. Maybe health is very important to you, and getting back in those clothes is important, but so is travel and living the life that you now have, earning what you earn and reaching the things that you reach. If that's an important thing for you, if you've moved up, if you've gotten a promotion, if you make more money this year, the thought process is that you don't go backwards, right? You don't start saying, oh, well, I can't afford that, I can't do that. It's like, I got extra cash flow, I might as well go out more, or I might as well call DoorDash because I kind of can, or I want to take that trip, or I want to live that life, whatever that may be. As you continue to do that, you allow yourself to be free, but then the shame and guilt pattern comes in because the clothes don't fit. And then you go back into this, I'm going to go to this restrictive piece, and then I'm going to try to get my answer. But we never changed the core of who we were and the things that our body needs. Why do you think there's so many diets out there, right? There's so many diets out there because there are so many different options for people, and different options will give people different weight loss. I'm sure you've heard of somebody that was like, I lost nothing on keto, or I lost nothing on macros, or whatever it was that they said, right? So whatever it is that you have heard can also phase you. So to reclaim the metabolism, we need to learn these pieces of your puzzle that will allow your metabolism to freely flow. And what people don't know is that all the restrictive diets they do in their 20s, 30s, 40s, even 50s can cause you in your 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s to get really huge and obese, because you restricted so much now, by the time you hit 60, 70, your metabolism is going to be like, I need 600 calories a day. So you're not going to be able to freely live, right? When you imagine your retirement, do you imagine being super restrictive or being allowed to freely flow with things? So think about that as you kind of put those two pieces together, okay? So that first important piece is really making sure that everything is planned for you. The second piece is really that metabolism piece, and breaking the habits that you have, in that cyclical pattern, for number one. And then the second piece is really that metabolism factor. And the last important piece to fitting back into those clothes and why they're not fitting is because your mind-brain connection isn't there, okay? So what I mean is that as you continue on in your life and you habitually have dieted, or have maybe never even looked at the fact that your, clothes were fitting tighter, that it was something easy for you to overlook, it may be that, I'm trying to figure out the best way to say this. It may be that your motivation, your commitment, your ability to lose it is only there if you follow a certain structure. And the moment the structure gets kicked out from underneath you, the brain goes, I can relax. We're not really doing this. So I can creep back on the weight, and then the clothes get tighter without you realizing it, right? So it's sort of like, think about in the aging process, right? So everybody's so worried about getting wrinkles and getting older because you don't want to. But if you looked at yourself every single year, you'd see the changes. But when you look in the mirror day by day, you don't see them as much because you're changing subtly along the time, right? So it's how weight goes against you. That's how these diets play you, because it's really easy to be like, oh, today I forgot to count that one meal. Okay, cool. Then the next day you do the same and maybe a little bit more. Or I didn't measure this, or I didn't measure that. Because these diets, the macros, the Weight Watchers, the Noom, all those things, they want you to stay stuck on them. They don't want you to go off of them. They want you to do them for life, be a Weight Watcher for life. So as you continue to do these things, as you find your pattern of, okay, well then it's going to be intermittent fasting on these days, and it's going to be carb cycling on these days, and I'm going to get down to this percent body fat, and I'm going to get, all this kind of stuff, or I just want to be healthy again, or I just want to fit back in my clothes. So once you get to that, your brain is like, okay, well, I can't believe we're here. Wasn't really expecting it. Now what do we have to strive for? Sabotage me back to where I was. And then all of a sudden you're like, what happened? Okay. And then any other diet out there is going to be like, Weight Watchers will be like, well, you stopped counting, so you need to come back to the meetings. And macros people are going to be like, well, you fell off and you weren't coming to, you didn't keep paying for the program, so you need to come back, right? Whereas if you could break the first thing, the habits, if you could change the metabolism, the second thing, and you could break this cycle, this ability to be stuck on a diet, the clothes wouldn't go up and down and up and down. You wouldn't have three sizes of clothes in your closet. Instead, you'd have a solution. So through mindset dieting and through programs I teach you that there is no diet. Okay, while I do call it mindset dieting, diet is everything that you eat in your day. And what it solves for you is how to just live shame and guilt-free, reducing disease, breaking emotional eating habits that you may have, and losing the weight, keeping it off, shame and guilt-free, so you can live freely how you want to. If you're making the money, if you've gotten the promotion, if you know you deserve to have this piece removed from your brain because you are worth everything, because you know that your life is worth your health, because without health, you don't have your business, you don't have family, you don't have relationships. Without your health, you can't do anything. If you understand how important your health is and how vital it is, you will see that this all ties together. You have to break the habits. You have to break the killing of your metabolism. And last but not least, you have to break the fact of shopping at Goodwill to get a diet for yourself when you are more valuable than that. Like, really think about it. Is health a value in your life? Or is it more like I value saying to myself, I have to lose weight over and over, right? Are you one of those that just chronically has it on there? I'm going to have to lose weight. I'm going to have to do this. I'm going to have to do that. Is that what we're chronically going through? Because if you're chronically going through, I just have to diet, I just have to do this, you're living your life based on a diet. You're settling as you continue to go upward for, I'm just going to count the points and do the macros and really live in this restriction instead of freely flowing and loving your life, right? My guess is if you're watching this and you're a 6 or 7 figure business owner, you're not about to be like, I'm going to cook every meal. I'm going to meal prep. I'm going to do that. Maybe like I'll pay somebody to do that, and that would be great. But you didn't learn anything. And if you stop paying them, or they move, or you don't like some of the food, or you get bored of what's happening, then what? Right? Then what? You don't have the solution. So what empowers you is to learn exactly what to do. And when you're out of your element, you're traveling, you're doing those business trips, you're wanting to have that DoorDash, you're going to know how to do that and piece it together. See, through mindset dieting, I put all those pieces together so that way you can see exactly what it is that you need to do. So when we are eating out, how do we do it and still fit in those clothes? When we are on vacation, how do we do it and still fit in those clothes? How do we get out of this vicious cycle of all the cleanses and diets and supplements and things like that? You know, when people are like, well, how would I know if I want mindset dieting? My top 5 reasons would be you don't want to go the supplement route, meaning you could go MLM, you could get supplements, you could do all that kind of stuff, but you don't want to do that. Number 2, you've tried a bunch of diets, or maybe you just know that diets aren't right for you. Number 3, you realize that you are habitually doing things, that you have patterns, like I'm able to lose the weight, but then I gain it back, okay? Or I'm able to eat healthy, but then I fall off. Or I'm able to do the cleanse, but only when I want to go on vacation. Fourth thing is you can see your metabolism already dropping, whether you're in 30s, 40s, or 50s. Like the scale doesn't go down as easily as it should have. That's a pretty big red flag that you're not properly fueling your body. And then the last piece would be that you just know you're not a numbers person. It's not I want to sit down and count everything. I want to portion control everything. I want to measure everything. I want to weigh everything. I want to become completely crazy with my food, you know? As you realize that food is a social status with that, it's important for you to put all those elements together. So my biggest three takeaways that I want for you to think about is, number one, what are your habits really doing for your diet? Number two, how is your metabolism really working for you? And number three, are you done with the piece of paper and shopping at Goodwill for diets when you know as you continue to go up the ladder and you continue to push yourself in the job that you're doing, in the business that you're running, in the capabilities that you're doing, that you deserve better because health is a priority, because without your health, you have nothing. Without health, you can't go to work. You can't run the business. You can't be there for your family. You can't be there for your kids. You can't take the trips. So health is of vital importance. But most of us put like business, family, friends, money, health, right? So we need to change that. So I really hope that that helps some of you guys today. I'd love for you guys to comment below. Any questions, concerns, please feel free to drop a hashtag live, hashtag replay. And of course, remember that if you want to learn more about mindset dieting, I would love for you to schedule a brainstorm call with me. What I do is I have you apply to see if it would be something that would be helpful for you. So if you're looking for that, just drop below. I'd love to apply for a call and I'll post that on there for you guys. All right, that's it, guys. I hope you have a good rest of your day and I will chat with you later. See ya.